Hello friend, welcome back to Auto Resource YouTube channel. Here you can see 2014 Volkswagen Jetta SE. This one is equipped with that 1.8 liter TSI turbo 4-cylinder engine. And let's go together in this video, take care of engine oil and filter change. And looking underneath the hood, we can perfectly see that engine cover. We can clearly see the engine oil filter housing. Here is engine oil dipstick, and this is engine oil filler. Because of this design and engine oil filter being up here in the engine bay area, you can totally just use the fluid evacuator. You don't have to lift the car right up in the air and draining the oil from the pan using that drain plug. So I will start with opening that filler plug and looking at it. It's good, kind of gives you idea to inspect it about the health of the motor, right? The engine. We'll put that dipstick, engine oil dipstick. The oil is still nice and warm, which is always good to have it, right? And I will set this aside. I brought my evacuator, right, with this hose, and I will insert it all the way to the bottom of the pan, right, until it stops. Now I will correctly hook it right here, and I can start getting that engine oil out of the engine, and you can see it right here, right, running. And I will just keep pumping and getting it out without lifting the car, right? It's way more convenient than either lifting it here in the shop or for someone putting it on the ramps and so on. And I will observe the quantity of the oil, right? We know from the owner's manual that this engine, when you are changing the oil filter, the quantity is 5.2 US quarts. When you start hearing this sound, that means the evacuator got all the oil out of the engine oil pan, and I can turn my attention to the engine oil filter. Now, to undo this filter housing, right, you can use special wrench, or I know that this is 32 millimeter, so I will use this socket to loosen it. Obviously, to lose that, it's turning it counterclockwise, right, which just happened. It seems to be that this filter was not over tightened, right? Sometimes people just crank it too much, but I believe the previous technician did a great job of not over tightening this. I love it. And I brought my catching pan, right? I want to minimize the mess, so I'm carefully moving this. It's coming out, it's great. And getting ready to place it underneath it, right, which you just saw. And here is that entire part. Let me show you the detail of that filter housing, right? It's right there. So I put it here on the bench, you can see it, right? Here comes the filter out, right? It's a nice, I will say, felt. It's not just paper, it looks like a felt. It's from Volkswagen, this one. And pay attention also all these O-rings. This is the one, right, which stops the leak into the engine, and there is 2 and 3. There are 3 O-rings. So now it's time to go shop for the new filter, and it better, that whole filter better has these 3 O-rings. And I checked multiple sources for this part, and all of them were coming just that main O-ring, right? Here is the cartridge, right? Nice and new. This one is from CarQuest. And it seems to be that these two bottom O-rings will be dealer only. So I will be obviously replacing this top one, right? Because this one is the most important, right? For stopping any possible leak on it, right? So that goes off. And I will put a new O-ring on it. Always pay attention where it was, right? So you don't put it in the wrong spot. It's always recommended to lubricate it with the new oil before you will be putting it back. So here we have a cartridge. It's the both way the same, right? It goes nicely in, and I'm ready to install it. I loop this new O-ring a little bit, paying attention how I'm putting it there, right? Catch the thread. And by the hand only, slowly, you don't rush this, start putting the whole thing in. Now, how much you will tire it? Volkswagen did a good job. You don't have to look in any manuals. The number is right here, how much torque should be used on it. And it's 25.5 Newton meters. So here you can see my torque range to set to 26 Newton meters, right? And I will nicely, carefully torque it. Did you hear that? It says 26.3. Perfect. Now I can finally start filling that engine. Volkswagen says that the ideal is a full synthetic 5W40, right? That's what they want. They say that's how it was filled from the factory and so on, right? So I will pour basically like 4.7, right? 4.5. That's what I will fill it, and then I will start using that dipstick, measuring how much oil I have there, because I don't want to overfill it. I'm using this funnel, right? Because I don't want to make any spills or any mess on the engine that will be hard to clean later. I have poured 4.7 quarts, right? Just to be safe. Let's see what the dipstick will show us. I'm wiping it dry, reinserting it all the way back, and let's see how far we are on the dipstick. And it seems to be that we are right in middle of this part, right? If I turn it correctly, it just flew. So we are safe to pour all 5 quarts and then start the engine. So I will remove my funnel, right? Put it on the side. Use that cap, the oil cap, right? I will make sure it's all the way screwed in, right? Perfectly closed. And I can go and start up the engine. And when I'm doing it, I will be observing that check engine oil pressure, right? The red light, which is up here, right? It will go on, but it needs to disappear pretty soon after the engine will be running. Nice, it even didn't go on. That's interesting. Normally it stays for a few seconds and disappears after the engine builds up the pressure. Excellent. And I'm going to check the engine immediately for any possible leaks around that filter which I just put on, or if this is not leaking, right? Everything is fine. So I will let it run for 1 minute and then shut it off. After that I will wait at least 5 minutes to give the engine oil time, enter the oil pan, and I will be ready for my final measurement. So as you can see, this was pretty easy, right? I believe anybody can do it by themselves. If you like the video, give it a thumb up, and please make sure you are subscribed, because I have way more coming your way soon. Thanks for watching today, and have a great day, my friend.